I'm Leigh-Anne and this is my Glamour Unfiltered. I think one of my greatest achievements as a woman is, overcoming that imposter syndrome, regaining my confidence, knowing who I am, just owning it and taking it. And yeah, I'm really excited for this era. I think it's definitely like juggling motherhood, wife, star. As a woman, I don't know what it is, but I feel like sometimes you're expected to just be able to do everything and maybe not struggle. There's this sort of expectation, but I mean, I know we can though. Like as women, we are literally superwomen, right? Like we are so powerful, we can do everything. But sometimes you want to just be able to just stop maybe and breathe. I feel most empowered as a woman when I'm around my mum and my two sisters, because I think I get my strength from them, and I just feel really lucky to be in this network with them. And I think anytime I like forget myself or like feel like I can't do something, I think about them and how they've just pursued and they've just like fought time and time again. And yeah, I can think of a time in the group where I think we'd gone to like this networking party, and we were told by some people in our team to go and flirt with the guys in the party. And at the time, it's like we didn't even question it. It's like, well, this is what we have to do to get to where we want to be. And that's really sad. And like we look back on it and we're just like, that was so gross. Like how dare they say that, you know, and like make us feel like we had to sell ourselves in a way. Like it's just gross. Whereas sometimes I feel like a guy just wouldn't have to deal with that. They just wouldn't have to sell sex, or they just wouldn't have to put themselves out there like that. So yeah, that's a challenge. It took us some years to understand how wrong it was and how bad it was, because obviously like society moves on and like time moves on and people understand that these things just aren't right. So I think it took us a couple of years to realise just how wrong it was. But like when we do talk about it, we just can't believe it. And the best thing that we can do now is like use all of that and make sure that that shit doesn't happen again to anyone else. I definitely think time's changing for sure. I mean, that could never happen now. Like the more people speak up and the more people are open about these things, like the more action can happen. Oh goodness, where do I start with this? I feel like a lot of my career, like I lost a lot of confidence, and it's something that I'm now dealing with, like stepping out on my own, just knowing who I am and knowing what I can do and knowing my ability. And I just felt like got lost somewhere on the way with all the pressures I think that I faced in my career. And I'm just so ready to be like, just stop. Like, girl, you can do this. And just get rid of those doubts and that imposter syndrome. Like, I'm so bored of it. I'm just ready to just do this and just do what I love with just unapologetically. Yeah, I definitely feel like, especially being in a girl band for so long, there's always been these pressures to look a certain way, to never be caught slipping. There's definitely been that pressure with it. I feel like as I've come through my career, I'm learning to just care less. And that's a process and that's a journey, especially when something's been so implemented into you for so long. I don't know, I just think about why I'm doing this. Like I'm doing this to make music, to spread good. And like, yes, I like to dress up or whatever, but it's not all about what you look like, you know? I remember at the beginning when I first got into the group, for the first like year or couple of years, I wanted a nose job. I wanted a nose job because I wanted to, I guess, fit into those European standards of beauty. And honestly, like I look back on it now and I'm like, it's just so frustrating that I even felt that way. And I'm like, I love my nose. Can you imagine if I'd done it? And oh gosh, but again, it's just sort of those pressures. I really like to feel like we are like moving on. There's so many incredible like body positivity people out there as well, like incredible activists that are like spreading good and doing good and hopefully like making people to those beauty standards. Embarking on this solo journey means everything to me. I think being in a group for so long and now being able to just step out, do what I want to do, no compromise, release and make art that is a part of me and special to me has been an incredible part of this experience. I miss my sisters like you wouldn't even believe. I think having that sisterhood and like being on stage together, and we're a team, you know, and there's just such a bond there, and I definitely miss that. For me, it just feels like the right time to do this and be solo. In the group, I was very used to like walking into rooms which were predominantly white, and I think I struggled with that, especially towards the end, because in my head I'm just thinking, this doesn't have to be like this. Like, why? I think something that I'm really happy about now is that I can do whatever I can to change that. Like, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to walk into rooms where I don't see people that look like me. So that's a really empowering thing. For a long time, I just kind of got by, I guess. Like, I was very conditioned to thinking that that was normal, to walk into very white rooms. Like, that was my normality. And maybe like a little bit scared to like rock the boat. But I just don't feel like I'm there anymore. I think as time's passed on, and I just feel a lot more empowered to speak up and say something. But yeah, it definitely felt like quite a lonely place at times. I guess I'm just happy to be here now and to feel strong enough to say something. What's important now is people just speaking up and speaking out. No matter what race you are, no matter what you look like, you say something. If you don't feel like it's diverse, then say. There's no excuse for it now. For me, it's just about putting my foot down and shouting as loud as possible, because at the end of the day, like, you just can't ignore it anymore. I mean, for me, my mental well-being like comes at the top of the list. If I'm not feeling good mentally, or if I'm not feeling okay in myself, then I'm not gonna give you the best of me. So it is definitely something that I try to make a priority. Therapy, I think that is so important. I think everyone should have therapy, like, no matter how you're feeling. I just think it feels like a good release. And I feel like I just have like time for myself as well, like maybe like little breaks on my own, or like just being with my friends, and just like quality time, just to kind of step away from, I guess, superstardom world, you know, and like that sort of place. Like, it's good to step away from it and try and be normal. I feel like what I learn is just to be resilient and just to keep getting up and just keep going for it. I kept believing, and I just did not give up on my dream. I definitely feel like a big thing for women is representation, for sure. I think the way to go about that is literally for women to keep standing together, keep being open, keep having difficult conversations, keep being loud. Gosh, if I could go back and tell that little girl who felt all of those pressures at the time, I would say, girl, just do you. Just be who you are and just love it. Understand that you're different and just embrace that. Love your skin, just harness that power, because it is going to take you to amazing places.